a subject which itself is so novel and may take you by surprise. I am in a company, the company of Shiva Baba, the company of Prajapita Brahma, the company of persons whose minds are divinized. And this is a rare atmosphere when a subject like Om Shanti jurisprudence may be discussed. Jurisprudence really means prudentia, knowledge of the law. It can apply to any situation. There are the laws of war, the jurisprudence of war. There are other situations when law is necessary to regulate the conduct of people. When we speak of poverty jurisprudence, because we want to abolish poverty, and for that certain measures have to be taken. Those measures have got to be according to law, and therefore we say poverty jurisprudence. We speak in terms of sociological jurisprudence. Sociological forces have got to be organized in a particular manner to raise the level of consciousness of the people so that there may be a world which will be orderly. We call it sociological jurisprudence. Other forms of jurisprudence can always be thought of. Jurisprudence of juvenile justice, when little persons misbehave, children misbehave, and we want to keep them orderly by certain procedures, we call that the jurisprudence of juvenile justice, the jurisprudence of gender justice. There are many branches of jurisprudence. These are all well known to jurists and argued in courts by lawyers, decided upon by judges. But then, what is new about this meeting is that it speaks in terms of Om Shanti jurisprudence. What is this? Om Shanti jurisprudence. All of us are clear in our minds. I mean, sane people are clear in their minds. There are many insane people, but sane people are clear in their minds that we want a world of peace. And peace in its dynamic dimension is Shanti. Shanti does not mean merely peace. The English translation is totally inadequate. Shanti has a positive side, has a developmental side, has a flexible side, fits into all situations. And that is why Shanti is dynamic in its dimensions. Om, of course, gives it more profundity. Om is an expression de profundis, profound. Om is absolute. This sound Om has itself a certain semantic significance, but apart from that, the sound that is produced itself reverberates, and there is global peace. That is the meaning of Om, object, absolute. So we want, in terms absolute, a dynamic, peaceful world, and that is why we want a jurisprudence which can be called Om Shanti jurisprudence. Long, long ago, during World War I, a judge of great eminence in Britain, Lord Atkin, he said, even amidst the clash of arms, the laws shall not be silent. That is, the law will speak. During war, during peace, the law will speak. because law is geared to order, to values. So we want to have a value-oriented jurisprudence which will speak during times of peace, during times of war, in times of disaster, during times of welfare. It is this comprehensive notion of jurisprudence which will salvage man in his disaster, which prevents disaster. Glanir Bhavati Bharata song was sung here. Whenever there is a decline in the world's morality, the world's virtues, and there is disaster impending or overtaking, then comes by incarnation a power, call it by any name you like. Here in the United States some time ago, a couple of months ago or 3 months ago, and I found the House of Representatives passing a budget, the Republican Party moving in all its majority to pass it in favor of the rich, the Democratic Party opposing it furiously, saying we are for the poor, we want social security, we want help afford it. So there was a clash. And then the President Clinton comes and says, if for the billionaires you are going to pass a budget, I'll veto it. So there is a confrontation. This confrontation can be resolved only by an Om Shanti jurisprudence, where the whole globe will have peace. We in this country, for instance, have clashes. Communal clashes we have, tensions we have, deceptions we have, scams we have, and in all such situations of friction, confrontation, communal or other, we want peace, we yearn for peace. Why should brother kill brother? Why should there be injustice while in custody? Various forms of injustices inflicted upon human beings. So we want a humanization of the situation prevailing in our country. That is jurisprudence of peace. No confrontation, no friction, no tension, no bloodletting. Let us have peace, peace. How do we get peace in America? How do we get peace in India? How do we get peace in Bosnia? How do we get peace in Sri Lanka or in Pakistan? All the world over, we find today a degradation of values. People have ceased to be concerned. They have ceased to be committed. They are no longer interested in things excepting themselves. Myself, my wealth, my family's opulence, my group, my community, my caste, my country, this kind of thing goes on. What we want is universal peace. How do we achieve universal peace? When I said Om, it is universal. And Shanti is indivisible. You can't have Shanti in this room and violence in the next room. It has got to be universal or not at all. So Om Shanti jurisprudence has a positive content. And it is this positive content that we have to absorb by beginning a discussion on Om Shanti jurisprudence. But Om Shanti is not a dictatorship. That also can produce peace. A despot can produce peace by putting everybody in prison. There is peace. By killing everybody who dissents. That is the graveyard, the peace of the graveyard. What we want is the peace which emerges from happiness. Everyone is to be happy. There should be social harmony. There should be international order. On the other hand, today, jurisprudence has failed to prevail in international areas. So much so it has been said that international law is the vanishing point of jurisprudence. What we want is international order shall prevail. The Brahmakumaris are not confined to Mount Abu. They are not confined to India. They go all the 5 continents over. And everywhere the slogan is Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Whether they articulate jurisprudence or no, instinctively, unwittingly, they are really preaching for peace in the universe. The stars shall not collide. If the stars collide, we perish. The stars have a certain order in the sky. That is what we call cosmic orderliness. The earth shall have peace and orderliness. That is where we want environmental order, environmental peace, environmental behavior, anti-pollution. We want ecological order. So we have ecological jurisprudence, environmental jurisprudence. All these are parts of Om Shanti jurisprudence. Om Shanti is so comprehensive and it takes in everything. And when there are conflicts, and there are conflicts, we summon Om Shanti jurisprudence. And that is why I say that this is so total, so holistic. We have got to have Om Shanti jurisprudence is an expression of the holism of jurisprudence. Whatever subject you touch, whatever area you enter, whatever problems you face, whatever conflicts come our way, immediately we have to think in terms of the dynamics of peace, the dialectics of peace, both the dynamics and the dialectics of peace. What are the dialectics of peace? I mean, what are the forces which produce conflict? If you understand the forces which produce conflict, we can immediately find a solution for those conflicts. We have to identify the forces. And what Om Shanti jurisprudence teaches us is what Milton long ago said, the mind is its own place and can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. So it is that where there is war, it is war in the minds of people. The United Nations said right in the beginning, wars begin in the minds of people. Today, if in Bosnia there is war, it is in the minds of the people. 2 groups of people, their minds are in friction, their minds are collapsing, their minds are arrayed in battle and in bloodshed. So the mind is the key. So you've got to go to the mind, because it is there you make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven. So jurisprudence, if it is to be successful, jurisprudence, if it is to produce orderliness, if it is to produce Shanti, you've got to go to the minds of men. It has been said, and very wisely, that our science and technology have allowed us to travel millions of miles into the sky, up in the sky, millions of miles beyond ourselves. But science has not been able to get 1 inch into our mind. Our mind is untouched by science. On the other hand, science and technology are weapons of war, weapons of pollution, weapons which create conflicts between people. Exploitation here, exploitation there, profit here, profit there. We must have more profits. We must have more multinational corporations. We must have more illegalities committed without being caught. Our policemen must be bribed. Our officers must be bribed. Even our judges need not do justice. That kind of attitude is taking place. And the answer to it is the mind of man and woman and child. And go to the mind. And from the mind, through the mind, you reach the soul. Without going into the soul, it is all baloney to speak of jurisprudence or order or law. There can never be law unless there is orderliness within the minds of people. And the minds of people can be orderly only if the psychic integrity is somehow managed by some jurisprudence. And that is where meditational techniques sometimes do it. This is not bluff. As a judge, I had occasion to study the impact of meditation on criminals. And in one judgment at any rate, I elaborately discussed the question of meditation as a measure producing peace within the mind of the people. I used to say at various meetings, I'll sentence this criminal to 10 years of meditation. Supposing we sentence a criminal who has committed rape, committed violence, supposing we sentence him to 5 years or say at least 1 year of Raja Yoga meditation, he'll be a different man. I would say jurisprudence has got to be flexible, has got to change its ways. The old traditional ways of pains and penalties are no longer good. The policeman cannot make you virtuous. Please realize that we are all sitting in this hall not because there are policemen outside, but because our minds are pure. The moment there is friction in our minds, the moment there are passions aroused here within this meeting, then the policeman can be hardly useful. Therefore, what is required is again and again, if we are to control our passions, if we are to control the various forces which create conflicts and clashes, we have got to go to the mind of people. And this jurisprudence of the human mind alone can prevent ecology, preserve ecology and prevent pollution. We have got jurisprudence of outer space, but we do not have jurisprudence of inner space. What I plead for is jurisprudence of inner space, that is the soul. Do realize that there is a soul. I have spoken in the morning about the soul within and the supreme soul. It is not as if this building is intact. It is not because it is solid stuff here. It is solid largely because there is a peace process which is guiding all the universe. It is this peace process which we call Om Shanti jurisprudence. Peace process by which the minds of people can be protected against catastrophes. The Morbi disaster took place. The floods came. The contractors were to blame. But then the floods came and people were killed. Large number of disasters taking place in various places, we can find at the bottom of it is some mind which was perverted. And the perversion of the mind led to all kinds of consequences. And the judges are helpless because they look only at the particular event. You've got to go back. When a person commits a crime, it is not that particular moment. It is something far behind. I have seen, once in the United States, I was listening with rapt attention to a certain explanation given by a doctor, saying that many criminals in jails, when their brains were examined, it was demonstrated that there was a tumor. When there is a tumor in your head, you begin to behave madly. Not because you are mad, but because your nervous system is totally disarranged. And so I said in one of my judgments that in such situations, the punishment for a person who behaves very badly or madly or foolishly or criminally is not to send him to the prison, but to have a brain surgery. Because normal. So what we require is a kind of Om Shanti surgery, and that alone can save humanity. Please understand that the depth of this civilization, the depth of our civilization, the orderliness of our environment, everything depends upon Om Shanti jurisprudence. I have volumes and volumes to speak on this subject. I would only like to say, because I do not want to commit the offense which was committed in the morning of everybody speaking as long as he ad libitum, but rather confine myself to the essence of the matter. Om Shanti jurisprudence really means that in human relations, in man and society, in woman and society, in the stars, in the planets, in the outer space and inner space, universally we must have orderliness, and jurisprudence can reach out to the outer space and to the inner space only through one technology, and that technology is the technology of meditation. That is why I stress the method of achieving Om Shanti jurisprudence. Don't treat it with contempt. That what is this meditation about? You may have your form of meditation. Some people have Vipassana meditation. Some people have transcendental meditation. I have come across the United States large number of prison authorities have told me. In New Zealand, I have gone into prisons and they have told me. In Australia, I have gone into prisons, I have been told. I have received reports from various other penitentiaries all over the world. And all of them say, yes, meditation has changed the manner of behavior of people. So this new behavioral control, this shaping the new mind through a soul technology. We want a soul technology. And that should be made part of jurisprudence. We can develop this subject. It is only a beginning. Experiences can be gathered. We may have primers in our schools and colleges. Our law schools are now beginning to talk of legal aid to the poor. Till now it was not even mentioned. Poverty jurisprudence has become, in our law schools, part of the curriculum. Why should we not have Om Santi jurisprudence, explore it in the law schools of India? After all, the brave new Bharat must offer to the world something new and at the same time something ancient. This ancient land of ours has got in its soil, in its seers, in its sages, a technology, a science, which is a science of the spirit. The science of the spirit is most important, not the science of matter. There must be a new synthesis between the science of matter and science of the spirit. That is why a man, a great scientist like Einstein said, science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. We must have a new, don't be scared by the expression religion. Religion in the higher sense is spirituality. So it is that I say a spiritual basis for our jurisprudence, which will go into the minds of the judges, into the minds of the lawyers, when they quarrel. Look at Mahatma Gandhi. When you have lawyers taking to spiritualized jurisprudence, they will refuse to utter lies in court. They will refuse to mislead the judges. And this is precisely what Mahatma Gandhi did when he was a lawyer in Africa. Do you know what he said? Whenever a client went to him, he said, yes, you have briefed me, but subject to one condition. I will speak only the truth before the court. If you are ready for that, come to me, otherwise you are free to go. They engaged him. He acquired a reputation in the court. Judges said, Gandhi has said this, therefore it must be the truth. Tells the other side, you need not argue on the facts because Gandhi has already told us this. So he said, I tried always to settle cases on the basis of truth. I always tried to tell the judges that this is the truth, and my income did not get reduced even by a rupee. It was because everybody wanted Gandhi to appear, because the man speaks the truth and the judge believes him and the judge acts on it. And if there is a compromise possible or a settlement possible or a just adjustment possible, Gandhi suggests it. So lawyers, don't be worried about Om Shanti jurisprudence. It is going to save you and your soul. We have to therefore evolve from this Mount Abu must emanate the new fountain of Om Shanti jurisprudence. I have more occasions to speak, I suppose, on this subject. Enough unto the day is the evil thereof. Let me stop now. Thank you.